Welcome to The Interview, the TV talk show that takes you directly to the most fascinating guests where they shine. Hi, I'm Susan Lee MacDonald. Every country has its own traditional cuisine, but if I had to choose a couple of countries with the longest culinary history, Korea and Italy would most certainly be near the top of the list. Today, The Interview catches up with extraordinary Italian chef Paolo de Maria, who has come to work and live in Korea, sharing his passion for traditional Italian cuisine. I'm here at Norangjin at the wholesale fisheries market. I'll be meeting up with Paolo as soon as I change my shoes, and then I'll go and join him. Today, I get to meet Korea's most widely known Italian chef, Paolo de Maria. Paolo came to Korea in 2004 and became head chef of the famous Buonasera restaurant in Seoul. Recognized back home by the Accademia Italiana della Cucina, he has brought authentic traditional Italian cuisine all the way to Korea. Paolo was awarded an honorary citizenship in 2010 by the mayor of Seoul. Delicious pasta a given, Paolo successfully incorporates local Korean ingredients into his amazing Italian dishes as well.
Hi Susan,
how are you, Paolo?
Everything okay?
Yes, great. How are you doing? So nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Wow, so we're here at the fisheries market?
Yeah. So I'm very happy you came here. So I will introduce a fish market. Here's like Luna Park.
Oh wow.
So many attractions.
Great. Well, I can smell it already.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see.
Okay.
Shall we go?
Okay.
I'm here today at Seoul's famous Norangjin Wholesale Fisheries Market. Nicknamed Seoul's downtown oceanfront, nearly half the city's seafood exchanges hands right here. The market is abuzz with the hubbub of customers and vendors haggling about prices and the knock-knock of cutting boards preparing fish to be served. The array of seafood on display from all corners of Korea here at Norangjin would make any seafood lover's mouth water. Insisting on using only the highest quality of ingredients for his dishes, our world-class chef is on the prowl for the freshest seafood Norangjin has to offer. Let's tag along as he does his rounds through the market. So, Paolo, tell me about the open fish market and why you decide to go shopping here.
Oh, because here you can really find everything.
Yes.
So normally I come here and I like to come in the morning, early in the morning. Because
how early?
Normally I come 7 o'clock. So here I can see really all the fish and I can choose the best.
And you, as the head chef of your restaurant, you come here personally. You could send someone else, but you come here how often? Like every day?
No, every day, maybe twice or 3 times a week, depends on. Yeah.
Wow. And why do you want to personally come here?
Because here I can really see what happened in the market, which is also I can compare always the price. That's very important, you know,
yes.
in order to control the food cost. So because of that, I can see which is fresh, which is the best for the day, and so the best is a little bit sacrifice, but you can get best result for your work.
Well, you know, I think that one of the things that people really mention about your food is that the quality of the fish and the vegetables is just really fantastic, and I think it's probably because you directly come here yourself to get the freshest and the best.
Let's make the difference. This is let's make the difference and makes the quality. Sometimes you don't have to consider the price. You have to consider the price always compared with the quality. That's the secret in order to make a good job.
Wow. So what type of shop are we here for?
Here we have normally where I buy the salmon. So this is the.
This salmon looks pretty big to me. Is this typical of what you would buy?
Yeah. Normally I buy this around this size. Yes.
I see. Wow.
This one is around 3.5 kilos.
Wow. Wonderful.
So normally you can buy the salmon already cut, vacuum. And normally I buy the salmon all together.
I see.
And then I do by myself because in my kitchen I have the equipment to exactly do this. So I can vacuum pack everything.
You have a machine that does the vacuum packing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
And also I have a blast chiller. That is a very important machine because it gives you the opportunity to blast chill every kind of food.
So that makes it really fresh for your customers.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So what else do we need to go get for your store?
Now we go for the clams, we go for the vongole.
Oh, I can't wait to go see.
Okay.
Hey, bye. Bye, little salmon. Paolo, I'd love to ask some of your secrets to choosing the best kind of seafood. And I know we're going over to get some vongole, the clams.
Yeah.
What would be some tips that you could give us for choosing the best clams?
Oh, most important, the clams when you choose doesn't have to be totally close. Have to be a little bit open.
Okay.
Either if it's close, sometimes the vongole have to breathe, so it will open sometimes.
I see.
The most important, before to cook the vongole, you have to put inside the water. Have to be seawater. If you don't have seawater, normally you put some salt inside the water, and then you leave the vongole for one night. So
why is that?
Because the vongole have to lose all the sand eventually has inside.
Yes. So you don't want to be crunching on sand.
Yeah,
when
very
you
important.
Eat.
Otherwise, when you eat, you get the sand. It's not good.
Yes. Wow, great tips. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, we go inside to watch to see the. 안녕하세요.
Wow, so many things to choose from. It's so loud here because of all these machines keeping the fish alive and the tanks.
Yeah. You can see everything is in the water.
Yeah.
All the shells are in the water. So you can see the scallops, capesante.
Capesante.
Yes.
Wow, and
then the vongole.
The vongole, the clams.
I will buy 1 kilo of this.
Oh, great.
Yes.
So why do you choose to come here? I see that all of these are inside the water.
Yeah, that's why. Because inside the water, I don't have to put inside the water when in my restaurant.
I see.
Because they are already inside the water, so I can use it straight away.
Great. So all the sand and everything is
already
outside.
goes out.
Okay.
Yes. So this is very important.
So it's going to be fresher just to get it from here.
Exactly. Because the fish when you're moving is suffering, either if you leave it in the fridge. So it's better, cook it as soon as possible. So that's why here I have the great advantage that I can take it and I can treat it at the same time when I keep it in the restaurant.
With clams in hand, Paolo and I wrap up our tour of the market. He definitely seemed to know his way around, talking me through his routine from vendor to vendor. Surprisingly, in contrast to Paolo's widespread recognition, his self-named restaurant is quite cozy and intimate, hosting only about 10 tables that are neatly placed throughout the dining room. I look forward to sitting down with him and hearing his story of his international culinary journey.
So Paolo, we've just come from the wholesale fisheries market into your wonderful, cozy restaurant. Thank you for inviting me here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Wow, so your restaurant is called by your name, Paolo de Maria.
Yeah.
So very easy to find.
Yes, but maybe it's not sometimes not easy to remember especially for the Koreans because it's an Italian name. So just I want to point out that this is Paolo de Maria, and it is a fine trattoria also.
What would you describe back in Italy as a trattoria? What type of restaurant is it?
Normally in Italy we call trattoria. Trattoria is a typical Italian name and we use for this kind of restaurants that normally are making family business. So mainly have to be run. The business has to be run by the family. So normally in the old and very successful trattoria in Italy, sometimes you can find trattoria in Italy are open since 60 or sometimes either more 80 years. So
very
really
long
a long time. And in this trattoria, is the family bring the business for a long time, So the grandfather gives to his son, and then the son gives to the other son. So and you continue,
I see.
and you continue the tradition. So that's why we call the trattoria. Normally, when we think about the trattoria, we think about something that keep the tradition. So you keep your tradition and with your family, you grow your business.
How did you get involved as a child with cooking? Did you cook with your mother, your father, your grandparents?
So
how did that start?
Yes, quite curious because you know, in my family, my mother never cooked at home. So my father was really passionate, and he was the one that, as a hobby, he was cooking at home. So probably when I started to be interested about food and started to do some simple food at home when I was 12 or 13 years old. So at the time I started to cook simple, and I was looking at my father doing these wonderful dishes that after that we were going to eat all together. So, and for me was natural. Just I used to go on the floor, and when it was the time, I decided to go to cooking school, and so.
When you went to cooking school, you were 13 years old, 14 years old?
I was 14 years old, yeah, 14. And when I started my first year at cooking school, you know, in Italy, normally when you start this kind of school, in the meantime, during, for example, summer vacations, you know, because during winter you have a school, and the summer vacation you spend to work somewhere else. So normally it's the school provide to you some places to go and train.
So it's like a work-study program.
Yes, work-study program. It's very important because just the school doesn't give you the skill at all. Just give you the basic theoric, you know, some theory and some basic skill. But after that, how to get a knife in your hand, how to cut, all these kind of things you learn during, you know, in the work.
So when you first started to cook, it was with your father in your home, and then that inspired you to go into cooking. So what was it that was the main thing that made you decide that this was going to be your life's passion? This was going to be your work?
Because, you know, when you cook, you're doing something, and then basically you don't do for yourself, because you're cooking, you're doing something, and somebody else try. And you know, when I realized that the people were trying what I was doing, were pretty amazed, and the way they were pretty happy, and they were started to say, "Wow, this is good." And so this is kind of passion comes, you know, grows inside you, and you want to do better, you know. Like, you start to feel like, wow, I can do something that I can please myself, I can please also the people. So it's just coming naturally, this kind of things. You know, it just come from inside, and you just realize that it's good to try more and make it better. So it was, for me, it was like this.
Well, you're so well known here in Korea, but to become a really great chef in Italy, it takes many years of practice, it takes a lot of training, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. For you, from the age of 14 till the point where you really felt that you were really good as a chef, how long did that take?
I can tell you, still now, I don't consider myself a great chef. I always try to keep my humility. I don't just say to you just because I want, because I always try, and also I don't compare myself with the others, never. I compare myself with myself. So, and I always think that there's something to learn. Sometimes either from a very, maybe some insignificant restaurant you go, you can keep something, and you can at the time you are learning. So very important, you know, you have to, and I can tell you, all the best chef in Italy, I'm talking about a chef, very popular chef in Italy that maybe they are working in a very high level restaurants, Michelin stars, you know. The really good ones, they never say I'm the best, they always want to doing something more, and they always think one thing. They believe, as me, that you know, you cannot You cannot just wake up in the morning and say, I'm a great chef, or I'm very good chef, because really it's like when you build up your building. So you have to start from the fundamentals.
Yes.
And build up a very good building, you need time. If you build up your building in a very short term, building will be no good. And maybe with the first outbreak, everything will fall down. So this is the same. You have to start, from the beginning, and with the humility, you have to start to work. When I started to work at 14 years old, first I was peeling potatoes and washing the dishes, and then after 2 years I started, and then after 2 years I started to clean the fish, and then there are some steps. You cannot just go inside the kitchen and say, I'm a chef, I'm cooking this, I'm cooking that. You have to start from the ground, and then in the meantime you see what happened in the kitchen from the other people that are already skilled.
Yes.
So this is like, so you can really grow, and you can really keep everything like a sponge.
Wow.
Otherwise, if you just if you just study because you see on internet what does this on that, but at the end the real skill is in the kitchen. Also, professional kitchen is different than a kitchen at home. If you have to cook at home, it's completely different, because you have a very big tension, because in your dining room you have your customer are waiting for you. They are sitting down and they are waiting. You have to prepare. So you have to be quick, but very precise, and everything have to be perfect. So tension is pretty high.
When you were in Italy, you were given some type of certification as a chef by the government. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
First I got my degree from the school. So I got and the school is recognized by the government. And then also I have, for example, I was recognized by the Accademia della Cucina Italiana. That is probably the most important association. I mean, is held by the President of the Italian Republic. So it's pretty important recognition.
Yes.
So in order to get this recognition, they come to your restaurant, and they have to realize that you are really Italian. You don't compromise. So for me, I'm very proud to get, and I can tell you, I get this when I was in Korea. Actually, they recognize me, and they came here and they recognize me. So every time I go to Italy, they invite me, and having meeting with them. So for me, is a kind of, I'm very proud of that.
That's a great honor, because not very many people have that distinguished.
It's a kind of distinguished. So it's I'm very happy about it.
Paolo, you have opened up a restaurant here in Korea, and before you started your own restaurant here 2 years ago, you were invited to come to work for a different restaurant. Is that correct?
It's quite curious, because I didn't plan to come to Korea, and I had my own business in Italy, and just by chance a Korean company used to deal business in Italy. When I was in Italy, just met me, and she proposed me to come to Korea and give it a try and see if we could match together. So just by chance, I came here, and then I decided to sign a contract for 1 year. My intention was not staying here for a long time, just maybe 1 year and go back to Italy. After that, just very naturally, after 1 year, business was successful and everything was pretty good. And also me, I was very impressed about Korean life style, and I was pretty comfortable. So they asked me to renew the contract for other 2 years, and then other 2 years. At the end, I stayed in Korea working for this company for 5 years.
Wow.
And after 5 years, in the meantime, I met my wife, and I decided that it was the time to establish a family business. I had my ownership background in Italy before, so And I realized that in Korea, just by myself was impossible to do something, you know, to develop any kind of business. But because of my wife, that she's Korean, we decided to open up a restaurant. So we tried, and now we are running this place almost for 2 years. We are pretty cool and very established. So we are pretty happy. I can say that my original project is running well. So I hope with many things to do still. So we are working.
That's great.
With enthusiasm and good feeling.
Working in Korea as a head chef, I'm sure it was great not only for you but also for your employees, because they could learn directly from someone who has had his own career for such a long time. So tell us a little bit about what it was like to mentor some of the people that you worked with, and you know, they were all Korean.
Yeah, I can say in 8 years now I'm in Korea. I could see many people used to work with me, and then somebody of them opened their own restaurant. They became a chef. They became pretty famous, and so of course for me it's good. You know,
Yes.
I mean it's a proud, because I can see that you know they did something. So I don't consider myself as a master. No, but in the meantime, when I see that somebody could take something from me, and especially I appreciate the people, they maybe they took something from me, but maybe they don't copy from me, and maybe they personalize, they change. Maybe what they learn from me, they change, they make something personal for them in order to keep their personality. For that, you know, for this point, I can say there's a kind of artistic matter about this job, because it looks like, you know, a painter when he goes to some master to learn how to paint, but after that, if you want to become a great painter, he cannot just copy what other masters, other famous painters used to do. He has to try to develop his technique. He has to try to do something that have to be recognized as distinctive, made by himself. So I think here is the same. So when I see some colleagues, somebody was working for me before, and they can develop their own cooking style, I'm pretty proud.
Great.
More proud than just to see somebody copy my dishes. Yes.
I heard a very interesting story about you getting an honorary citizenship certificate from Korea. Tell me about that.
You know, I feel a little bit shy to tell you, but anyway, in the meantime, I'm very proud, because it was very unexpected. I didn't work to get that, so and I was very at the beginning I was very shocked when they told me that they selected me, and they asked me if I agreed to get this honorary citizenship. Basically, they decided because you know I published a book, and normally I'm very into the didactic meta. You know, I'm working also. I'm trying to cooperate with the school. You know, in order to develop the cooking culture.
I see.
So because of that, I wrote this book about pasta. So that was the motivation why they decided to give me this honorary citizenship, because they thought that I did something important.
Yes.
For me, I mean, what I did it just naturally, because I just thought it was the time to do something. So for that I appreciate more that they decided to recognize this my work with this prize, and I was very proud to get this prize from the previous mayor of Seoul. So
does this mean that you have two passports now, Italian and Korean?
Yeah, officially no. I just only one, but of course I have a special card that I can bring with me, and so that recognize me as an honorary citizen. And then also I have a permanent residence here, so I don't have any kind of visa anymore. So
Fantastic.
I'm like a Korean, yes.
Wow, can you vote too?
No, not that. But anyway, I think it's already good for me. I already feel I got a lot of privilege.
Well, Paolo, I know that you had wanted to show me a little bit more of your restaurant, and so I'd love to go in and check out your kitchen and show and see what you have up there.
I think that the kitchen is the hidden part normally, and but I strongly believe also is the most interesting part. So I think you will have fun.
Great! I can't wait to go see it. Paolo, thank you for inviting me into your kitchen.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
It's my honor to be here. Wow, such a famous chef, and in the kitchen. This is amazing. What are you going to show me today?
Okay, today I will show you the lobster pasta. I'm going to show you this very simple dish.
Okay, so would you say that Italian food is traditionally very simple or very complex?
No, the traditional Italian food have to be very simple, and especially when we are talking about pasta, most of the sauces, except some exceptions, most of the sauces have to be very quick preparation.
Adding some skillfully sliced garlic to a pan of vegetables, Paolo flambés the mix with a splash of brandy. Already, the kitchen is filled with a mouth-watering aroma. As quickly as it started, the dish is complete. A perfectionist to the end, Paolo adds the final garnish, and voila! The only thing left to do is dig in.
Wow. This sauce is incredible, and it just feels fresh.
Yeah, this is the secret.
Wow. Yeah, this is mine.
One taste and all I can do is nod my head. Oh right, the interview. Wow, what a delicious dish. I can't wait to see what else he's going to show me.
Susan, now I show you the second recipe. I will make the Jeju pork belly.
Okay.
It's a very special cooking.
Great. So you're using a classically Korean pork, the black pig.
Yes, the black pig. Because
why that pig?
Because in Italy we have also the black pork, and I realized that I tried many kinds of pork in order to find the one I really liked.
Yes.
So at the end I realized that the black pork from Jeju is pretty similar to that one.
I see.
So I really like to use this one in order to reproduce the taste, the original taste from Italy.
That's amazing because there are so many similarities that Koreans and Italians share that don't look apparent, but we're both peninsulas. We both have a great seafood culture and a great noodle and pasta type of culture, and now the same kind of pork. Similar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
And many other kind of things.
Yes.
Some potatoes.
A dish inspired by the Jeju black pig. Paolo cuts a mix of vegetables and prepares them in the oven.
How long do you put that in there for?
We will cook it.
He reveals a delicious slice of pork belly and starts to grill it on the stove. I can only imagine how this dish will come together.
Now we will
Topping the nicely grilled vegetables with that beautiful slice of pork belly, Paolo's dish slowly starts to come together. All that's left is the sauce. The array of colors on the plate alone draws my attention, not to mention the delicious smell. What am I waiting for? Let's take a bite.
You can tell how crispy it is.
This is very important. It have to be crispy outside, but now you will taste. Have to be very, very tender inside. So the contrast is very important.
Wow, it melts in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's very smooth for me to kind of cut into this, and let me describe the taste in case people are really curious. So it's very crispy on the outside. The inside, together with the pork belly fat and the meat itself, it's like it just melds into one kind of melt in your mouth taste. And together with this sauce, it gives a flavor that like just kind of lifts up the whole palate and makes me feel like my whole mouth is experiencing this joy of pork. Paolo, thank you so much for inviting me into your kitchen.
It's my pleasure.
And cooking for me. I'm so lucky. I'm very, very satisfied. It's been incredible.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. I don't consider myself an artist. I consider myself more artisan, a worker first. So somebody that have to work, and maybe is with his hands he creating something. But in order to do this, you know, you have to be very passionate, and you really sacrifice yourself, because in the kitchen you have to really work hard, and you have to cook and take care of your customers, so it's pretty hard work to do.
Paolo, your food was incredible. I'm not saying this just because I'm the show host and I'm trying to make it look good, but literally it was so good. I don't know what to say. It's a total honor.
Thank you, thank you.
Like the pork, that Jeju black pork, just literally was melting in my mouth. And I didn't want to look like a pig, but I literally wanted to just scoop it up and eat it myself.
Anyway, thank
Incredible.
you that you appreciate it. I'm very happy.
Wow, and you know, you've used that traditionally Korean Jeju pork, and I imagine that you've just searched all over the place for different kinds of ingredients for your restaurant. Tell me about what aspects of Korean food that you like, and what aspects of Korean cuisine that you like too.
My favorite one is the cuisine of the palace of the king.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I really like that kind of cuisine. It's very refined, and it's very, very in detail.
Yes.
I really like it.
It's a real feast for a king, literally,
Yeah.
with so many different types of prepared foods and what we call banchan. And I think that it's one of the most popular kinds of foods that people come to Korea nowadays. And
I'm very happy about that, because I believe that this kind of cuisine should be the cuisine to promote first for Korea, because it's really special.
Wow. So have you tried to make Korean food yourself?
Yes, I'm very beginner, so I have a lot of things to learn about. But yeah, I know how to do jjajangjjigae or tteokbokki. But basically, I learned from my wife, so
I see.
She's my teacher.
And you just mentioned teaching, and you have an organization called IFSE.
Yes,
Tell me about
IFSE,
that.
Yeah. So IFSE for me is very important, because basically is a school based in Italy, in Piemonte. But for me, it's not just a school. It's really is a philosophy, because as the name explains, IFSE means Italian Food Style Education. So is a school that it focuses not just on teaching how to make food, but it focuses most on the food culture that is always developed, and always is like a fashion, So is always moving, and is so always something to learn, either in the not only on the taste, but also on the visual, and also, for example, if you have a chance to get a class course in Italy in IFSE, you can realize that they don't just teach you how to make a food, but they teach you, for example, how to display, how to choose a nice dish. Also, they teach you how to display for a catering, so using special dishes, beautiful dishes in order to emphasize what you are going to eat. So I think the concept is going over than just simple, just the simple thinking about the food. So, and I'm very proud to promote in Korea with my wife this school, and we already sent a pretty lot of students from Korea to Italy in 2-3 years. So it works. I can say it works well, and especially the students, they are very enthusiastic, and they are very, when they come back to Korea, they are really amazed and happy to have this kind of experience.
Fantastic.
The entire room stands to greet a polished and refined-looking Paolo as he enters the room.
이탈리아 스타 셰프 파올로 셰프를 소개하겠습니다.
Following Paolo's introduction, the students burst into a roaring applause.
작년에도 제가 강의를 들었었는데 더 기대되고요. 원래 파스타 요리로만 이렇게 강의를 하시는데 이번에 메인 요리까지 하신다 해서 너무 기대됩니다.
유학을 갈 수 없는 학생들이라든가 그런 학생들을 이런 세미나를 통해서 이탈리아 정통 요리를 알게 하는 공부하는 그런 과정으로 해주려고 하는 시간입니다.
The atmosphere in the room is intense, the students not wanting to miss a single piece of advice Paolo may give. Serious, focused, and not foregoing a single detail, Paolo carefully explains each step to his grateful students. However simple stirring butter may seem to the average person, Paolo's students hone in on the slightest of his techniques. By his side, translating every step of the cooking process, is Paolo's wife, Jeannie. Knowledgeable in her own right, the pair work together like a well-oiled machine. Paolo busily tends to the dish he's making for his lecture as it starts to come together. The fish, the sauce, and all the ingredients take on a savory form. And all the while the students watch attentively, not wanting to miss a beat. And with the final garnishes added, the room is filled to the brim with applause.
I'm really glad to teach Italian cuisine to them because, as you could see, they are very focused. They don't talk at all, and they are very concentrate on what I'm doing.
셰프님이 하는 거 다 일일이 적으면서 똑같이는 안 되겠지만 집에서 저도 연습해보면서 부모님이나 가족들이나 친구한테 주고 싶어요.
With Paolo's book Pasta e Basta in hand, his students wait patiently in a line that stretches from one end of the room to the other. He's autographing every student's copy. To the aspiring chefs that attended his lecture, the ever-humble Paolo seems more like a celebrity today. Signing every book sincerely, he wishes his students all the best.
되게 연예인 사인 받는 거랑 좀 다른 느낌이었고요. 저도 셰프님 자리에 서서 나도 사인을 해주고 싶다. 언젠가는 나는 꼭 그렇게 할 것이다.
Refusing to remain idle while being a world-class chef, Paolo labors to share everything he knows to pass on the tradition of Italian cooking. His sincere and wholehearted lectures being just one aspect of his efforts. An amazing educator as much as he is an amazing chef, Paolo is an inspiration to us all.
Paolo, I know you've probably met a ton of people here in Korea that have been fantastic, but there must have been something very fantastic about the person sitting next to you. So can you please introduce your wife?
It's a very special one. So she's my wife, Jeannie.
Hi, Jeannie.
Hi.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me about the story of how you two met, because obviously it was because you two met that you decided to stay in Korea for a lot longer, is that right?
Yeah, of course, this is the main reason. Mainly, basically, we, in a very natural way, we met each other like 6 years ago. We were using the same gym, going to gym, so we just jump each other. And of course, we had
the long conversation.
Yeah, long conversation, and we had
a lot of interest
and attraction straight away. That's it. So in a very natural way.
Wow. So what do you do? I know you're fluent in English, and I heard you're also multilingual. So are you working together with your husband?
At this moment, I used to teach at one of the international school as a teacher. After that, I have a great interest in restaurant business, and I love to food and travel. So I guess we have a lot of things in common. We can help each other. So I can say that he's my best partner and my best friend.
Wow. So tell me some of the things that are really in common that you have.
Just we love to travel and food. I guess we are real foodies, and we always travel around the world and try the local food. That's the main thing. We really appreciate local food and regional food. And we always go on a motorcycle. Usually we travel long term, and we just need a backpack, and then yeah, we have a full of energy. And
I've also heard that when you went to Europe, you had some incredible, like 5-star Michelin-rated restaurant food. Tell me about one of those experiences.
That's in our must list, actually. We have to, he tried to make a reservation 6 months in advance, and we plan our trip. So we just, sometimes we do by spontaneously, but usually Michelin restaurant, we need a reservation in advance. So after that, we have just one nice suit or dress.
And where was this restaurant?
It was on Italy, the La Pergola.
It was in Roma. Of course, it was an amazing experience. And the thing is that for me, it's like, I cannot say, is a kind of professional deformation. Because I need to see how is the average culture, how is developing, because cuisine is always changing. So because of that, I really like to go try many different kinds of restaurants. And when you go to this very high level restaurant, like 1 or 2 or 3 Michelin star, you can really see what happened, which is the trend. Because they always try to keep the last trend. So for me, professionally is very important. And also, of course, going these kind of places with my wife is wonderful, because they treat you as a king. You pay as a king too, of course. That is good.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what was the most amount of money that you had to spend on a meal that you really loved?
I think it was like 1,200 euro around.
Wow. So. And was it worth it?
Yes. Once a while is good to go. If you have to tell me, also because it's not belong our possibility to go every day or either every week, but once a while is good. It's good to go and just having good experience. But I can tell you that sometimes good experience doesn't mean spend a lot of money, because we had incredible experiences having incredible food either in Italy, just spending maybe 20 or 30 euro.
Wow.
So really food, the money is not the matter. You don't have to show up. When you're doing something, you don't need to show up, you spend 1,000 euro. You can spend 30 euro and maybe be more happy sometimes.
Being foodies, I imagine that you might like to talk about food a lot.
Yeah.
You work in food. You're always around food. What are some kind of conversations you recently have about food?
Wow.
This is a very, very challenging question, because actually food is, I can say, is inside our life. It means that probably we don't talk about food. because we are inside the food. So all day we are living thanks to food. So everything turns around this. So and when it's like this, you don't give, sometimes you don't give the real importance on that, because it becomes so natural, so normal. So.
And how is it working together in this food industry, in the food restaurant business? Because you have to work together every day.
Yes.
So you must really, really like being with each other, because it's not easy to work as a couple, even as friends working as partners for some kind of company. So how has that been for you guys?
Not easy at all. It's very challenging. Especially, he always said he's the professional and I'm a non-professional. But I guess so. I have to learn a lot of things from him. He's very at job. He's need a perfection. So if I was something made a mistake, yell at me, scream at me, what I'm doing, all this Italian gesture. So, but I accept who he is. I never understand him fully because he's a man, he's Italian, I'm Korean, I'm Asian, and all that. So I guess more easy to try to accept who he is. I don't think why he's doing that, what's the matter with him, and makes me miserable. So I'm more, I guess I'm very outgoing. I'm happy to work with him. And I guess the family business is the best for the food industry, to run the business, not as a partnership, but we are husband and wife. But I guess so far we are doing very good and we are happy to each other, to work together.
Well, I think that it's great because you guys can work together and really not only help each other and your own family, but you help so many other people by giving them amazing food and an amazing experience here in Korea. So, you know, I think it's an amazing thing that you guys are doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank you so much, Paolo, for being on the interview today. And thank you so much for joining us, Jeannie. It was a pleasure to meet with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I can't wait to see more of what's coming from you two in the near future.
Thank you.
On today's interview, we had an extraordinary opportunity to do an interview plus interview with Paolo de Maria, a fantastic Italian chef who had his roots in Italy and now is planting them here in Korea. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you next time.